What is up, my dudes, and that one girl who's all about the bass, no treble. This is Bikes, Beards, and Brews. Let's kick that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we kick this one off, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. New videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. We're just doing this, yo. So let's get the other stuff out of the way. Want to save 10% on a Cardo communicator? Check my referral link down below. Want to support me in all my do-gooderness like these cool guys here? Boom! Then you should check my coffee page down below. Join the Brew Crew. I got new videos coming out. There's stuff exclusive to that channel, so I try and make it worth it for you guys to check it out. Want to know why I'm asking you for money? Well, all of that is going to charity. It's for my toy drive at the end of the year, so all those Amazon links down below, all the, like anything down there, the Cardo, all that, the coffee page, that is all money that at the end of the year goes to my toy drive. There's a link about that also down below. Check that out. All right, so what are we doing today? Well, in the past, mistakes were made, and I don't mind admitting that I've made some mistakes because I learn. Like, I try stuff out, I see if I like it. If I don't like it, then I go to something else. That's just how it is. So some of you may remember that I had a little bit of a debacle with some Advanblack speaker lids that I bought that were supposed to be waterproof that were not. I'll post the link there. Actually, if you are a diehard Advanblack person, or even if you're not and you're not sure and you're on the fence about them, I definitely recommend checking out that video. As I've said in that video as well, I don't hate, despise, or anything Advanblack. I feel like they've made a bit of an egregious mistake. They have corrected it since then. At the end of the day, I'm just not entirely happy with the speaker lids that I got from them. So I'm making some changes that I'm hoping will be better. And let me show you. We'll start off, I'll just give you an idea of what I've got, where I'm going, and why I'm going there. So let's check it out. All right, so this is my Advanblack speaker lid. So the issues that I was having with this is when I purchased this, it was advertised as being waterproof, which it is not. What I did like about it though was if you had water trapped in here, there's actually a small hole on the side that channels out. So you open your lid and you can drain it out. I will say that works very well. However, like all these tabs where like the grill connects, you could see right through that light pass through. I fixed that by putting a little bit of silicone around each of them. I mean, honestly, it's not going to be 100% waterproof because there's a hole in this lid. I fully understand that, but it's going to be water resistant because the speaker sits very tightly against the cone that is inside this lid, and it's fairly well sealed. Also, if you notice, unlike a lot of speaker lids, there's nothing on the front here. So, I mean, if you're traveling, rain should, in theory, pass right over the bag. Not going to really help you so much if you're sitting in rain, though, but whatever. I mean, if you're in like weather like that, you need to expect things to get wet, which is why these speakers are also rated to be like caught in the rain and all that stuff. So that's cool. One of the biggest issues that I have with this speaker lid is if you look, my 6x9 sit pretty low. I think you can see that. My big issue with that is it's taking up a lot of room inside my bag. So that is the inside of the lid there. That's the speaker. You can see that that sits very low. So I am actually losing a lot of space by having this here. So this now brings me to what is old is new again. These are actually my original Harley lids. I took these off a while ago because I did scuff them up and stuff. Like, you know, I kicked them a few times and stuff. Whatever, it's my first bagger. Things are gonna happen. And quite honestly, when you have people get on and off your bike, they kick the bags too. It's a thing, it happens, whatever. I see people put covers on. Those things look ugly as shit. I would rather have a couple scratches. Nonetheless, when I did take them off and replace them, I also dropped them, so it left some extra marks. I don't know if you can see them, but there are still some here. However, I decided that I was going to go with a cut kit and just go back to these original bags so I could like minimize how much I'm spending on speaker bag lids, and hopefully like this will work better. I brought these lids over to my buddies at Boyd Cycle in Peabody, Mass. They buffed them up for me and got out as many scratches as they could. I mean, the stuff over here is pretty deep. It's going to take some serious paint correction to fix that. But they did make these look a whole lot better. And then they also did me the solid of cutting them out, so I didn't have to worry about that. And I am totally cool with that, and that's why they are awesome. So we are going to mount these lids back onto the bike and see if I can regain some of the space that I lost inside my bags by going with these Advanblack lids. So to do this project, I got the Precision Power Cut Kit. All right, guys, I just want to give you a quick rundown of what you would get in the box if you were to purchase the same kit. So one of the things that isn't going to be shown here is the actual cut kit. That's because, like I said, Boyd's took care of that for me. But if you were to purchase this kit, yes, you would get that cut kit. In fact, here's a little QR code. Feel free to scan that. I'm sure it tells you how to install stuff or buy stuff, or maybe it's a free Russian mail order bride. I don't know. Check it out. Let me know. This is actually a very complete kit, and I'm very satisfied with this. So they give you a drill bit, so you have the exact size of the hole that you should be drilling in your saddlebag to run these quick release cables that they also give you. So these cables are designed to be quick release, watertight, basically connecting everything from your bag to your bike and having that nice tight seal so you don't have to worry about any water seepage. There is a three-way connector as well that looks like it goes right under your seat. Like this would run up to your stereo, and these two would run to your left and right bag. This is actually cool for like that one person who does take his bags off every now and then and cleans his rear wheel, because let's be honest, none of us are doing that. This makes it so you have nice quick release cables going to your speakers. And also, you know, if your mechanic or even you are doing any work to the rear of your bike, you're going to appreciate this more than hardwired speakers running through your bags straight into like the backbone on your bike. Trust me. This right here is going to go inside the bag. There is a small gasket there, so I have no doubt that this mounts right up against the bag to get it as tightly sealed as possible. And then you've got your speakers would mount here, which also has a nice little foam gasket seal. And then this is the grill that goes across the top, sandwiching everything nice and tight. Obviously, you get a pair of these. I don't have them both sitting on the box right now, but yeah, you got the idea. So really, this is a very, very complete set. If you need some help installing it, that QR code goes to a complete installation guide at motorcycleaudio.com, lid speaker kit, or quite honestly, you can go check out Jay at Volunteer Audio because he also gives a very complete installation on this stuff. You can try and watch mine, but it's really going to be like watching a monkey get it on with a football. But hang out and watch that anyway. Let's do it. All right, so when you get your kit, it's going to come with a bag of screws and 6 washers, which does not add up at all, but whatever. Maybe I'm missing 2. I don't care. There are 2 different size screws. These have smaller heads. These do not. So I got to figure out which one is actually for my speakers and which ones to mount the lids. I believe the smaller head ones are to actually mount the lids, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. And these are probably for the speakers, but let's double check. Okay, so when I'm saying mounting the lids, this actually kind of works as like a sandwich sort of thing, like you sandwich everything together. This is the grill on the outside. This is the inside piece. Make sure you're using the right one. They definitely are like left and right, so match them up. Maybe they're not left and right. I don't know. Let's just assume that they're left and right. And yeah, so there are 8 sets of holes on here. You have your 4 around the gasket, which are clearly there to mount the speaker. And then you've got some here, 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 and down here somewhere. And that connects this to the grill and helps so this gasket here makes a nice tight seal, so you're not going to have water pouring into your bags if you get caught in the rain, provided that you're using a 6x9. that is also sealed. All right, so a few things that I've learned so far. The screws with the smaller heads, so you can get close up, there we go. Those should be the ones you're using to sandwich this together. When you're screwing these together, couple things. First off, start with this upper corner, because this one is the biggest pain to get in. Make sure you don't tighten any of the screws down until all 4 of them are like through and they're caught, and you just need to snug it up, then tighten them up, because you will have to shift things around and stuff. But yes, this one is the bane of my existence. I actually did this one and this one first. Could not get that one in. Was ready to like Hulk smash this thing. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I like backed those 2 out. All of a sudden this, no problem. The other thing is, keep in mind, you're screwing plastic into plastic. So don't try and like death grip this stuff down. You're going to see, like, we'll get it nice and close here. There's a tab here, a tab here. Once these 2 are sandwiched together and it's nice and snug, and that's the same all the way around. Once they're all snug and sandwiched together, just stop there. The gaskets are going to do their job and keep the water out. And you're not going to strip the screws, and this isn't going to come loose later on. So yeah, just make sure you're not over tightening it. You will strip it, you will ruin it, and it will ruin your day. All right, yeah, so legit. This is the other side. I started with this one. I went to this one, which was the other pane on the other one. And then these 2 went right in. This side took me like 2 minutes. The other side, like I said, I just wanted to start smashing the thing. I was so pissed. So part of swapping out your bag lids is also removing your latches here. So I always keep a roll of painter's tape in my garage, and basically anything where I think it's going to swing, fall, stuff like that while I'm working, I'll cover it up in painter's tape. Sometimes I'll even put it like here. Basically, that's just going to help protect your paint, especially with like these latches. These are the Zero 3D lighted up latches. These are LEDs right here. So this is all metal. And if this is hanging, it's going to scratch up and ruin these bags pretty damn quick if I end up like tapping it, knocking it around, stuff like that. So just a little bit of safety. As you're taking stuff apart, just, you know, be mindful of the things that you're removing and how they're going to affect other parts of your bike around. That way you're not doing damage while working on it and not realizing it. So these bag latches actually use 3 of these little screws. It's on the inside. Let's open it up, take a look. They are normally right here. You got to cut back the gasket to get to it and make sure, like, you know, everything in here comes off, because this lid is actually 2 pieces. There's a frame and then there's the actual cover. So the frame is going to end up staying here, but the actual cover is what's going to be coming off. So there's screws all the way around. Here. I'm not actually flipping you off. I'm just trying to hold this screw and show you. So nonetheless, follow that all around. Don't forget to remove this latch either. There's a screw right inside here to take care of that. That's going to be fairly important because that also helps hold on this lid for you. So if you've never taken off a saddlebag lid before, this is actually what remains once you do. And it's just a frame and it holds the lid. It's already been pre-set up. So if you go to a speaker lid and whatnot, there's no cutting or anything. Like, these are pre-molded and pre-set up to accept speakers right out of the gate. So as long as you're not going to some crazy sized speaker, this is good to go. And like I said, I currently have 6x9s in my bag. So, I mean, I can say for sure these will hold 6x9s no problem. Anything past that, it's not an area I could speak to, but just to kind of give you an idea of what you would see if you take these apart. All right, let's talk about dumb things I do part 1 million, and that is not redirections, but whatever. So these little frames that I spent an insane amount of time trying to get on, actually it was this side that I spent an insane amount of time trying to get on, can't be put on until you mount the lid onto this frame. These are actually in the way and prevent it. So I get to take these off and do it all over again. So just out of curiosity, down in the comments, how many of you have installed these before or something like these? and knew that this was coming, and you were watching my video just yelling at the monitor going, "What are you doing, dumbass?" Yeah.
All right, so I ran into a little bit of an issue with this mounting plate. When I go to put in my speakers, they don't really like to line up with any of the holes in either direction. I have tried both forward and back, and it's the same thing. When they are sitting this way, I can get the front holes to line up, but not the back ones. While I was plugging around, I did find that on this mounting kit, there's a lip right here that kind of holds the speaker in place. But unfortunately for this instance, and for these 6x9s, which are the Hertz speakers, this whole lip is in the way. So I'm probably going to get a Dremel and just cut that off. All right, so looking at it, I really just had to notch out a little corner here. I'll do it on the other bag. Not a big deal. I mean, none of this actually breaks the seal or changes the alignment too much. I can and did get the speakers on. There was a little bit of a gap on each side because like the speaker holes are meant so the speakers can shift forward and back to line up correctly. And I could see through that just a little bit. So I did want to make sure that I just kind of sealed that up. So well, if I get caught in the rain, it's a little bit less water that could potentially come into my bag. The other thing I did was run a silicone bead across these gaskets because I have lifted these gaskets before, obviously, because I removed this lid at one point in time. So the stickiness there isn't as good as it should be. So I ran a bead, taped it down, I'll pull the tape off in like a day or two, and that'll be great and resealed and all that. But for the most part, this is done. I just have to reattach that flap to hold the lid so, you know, it doesn't go further than that. And reattach the speaker wires. Actually, before we go to the other side, I did want to show you this real quick. This is how it looks on the outside now. As you can see, my speakers are actually slanted and pointed towards me. The other ones were pointed straight up, and I guess the passenger would be able to utilize that a whole lot better than I could. So I'm hoping now I'll be able to hear these speakers a whole lot better now that they're kind of up and forward. Latch back on and let's look inside. And this is one of the things I really want to show you. Now we're standing right over the bag, and I will do a side-by-side with the video that I recorded at first. And I'll show you the difference between this speaker and the other one. First things first, I'm definitely going to have more room in my bag because these are not sitting as low, and the other ones kind of sat a little further back and they were flat. So they definitely took up more room than these, which are now forward and leaned upwards. So I am actually quite excited about that. Right now, I'm sure you're seeing the side by side. So let me know if you can see the difference. I can definitely see it from here. So just to give you a side-by-side comparison, this is the old setup that I had. Notice the speaker's sitting straight up. It's set back a little bit more. And this is the new setup. So it's lean forward, it's more forward. Let me bring it back up a bit. You can definitely see the difference between the two setups. So hopefully this side ends up sounding a whole lot better, or both, you know, when I finish, hopefully they both sound way better. But yes, I just want to give you a nice direct comparison. This is the Precision Power Cut Kit that you put into your standard saddlebag that came with your bike. This is the lid from Advanblack that used to be claimed, they used to claim was waterproof, and now they don't. I think I had something to do with that, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, I mean, you know, this might work out for some people. Honestly, it's not really working out for me. So just to give you an idea of how far back the speakers sit when you're using the Advanblack lids, this right here is it's part of the retaining strap that keeps your lid from opening too much. And it actually has to share a screw hole with the speaker because the speaker is set back on this. Whereas over here, we'll open it up. As you can see, the retaining strap over here doesn't like interfere with the speaker. They're in two separate holes. They're good to go. Yeah.
two separate holes.
All right, so we have a finished product. Left and right is all set to go. I do have to run the wires, like I said, or at least check those out. But I did want to show you what the speakers look like, all in there, set up, and ready to be wired and ready to make some noise. I guess overall, I didn't hate the Advanblack speaker lids, but I mean, from the get-go, like I said, that link I posted in the beginning, check that video out. They just were not meant to be. We started off on the wrong foot, we remained on the wrong foot, and yeah, those are just not the lids for me. All right, so I was looking at this wire harness and looking to install it. Honestly, this harness is awesome, and at some point in time, I will install it. The problem is, as you can see with this connector right here, you're gonna have to run this from the back of your bike where your speaker bags are right up into your fairing. I can't piggyback this off of what I already have installed. So to do that, you got to take the gas tank off, you got to get into the spine, you got to take the fairing off. Like, it's a little bit more of a project than I want to do right now, especially being that my gas tank is full, so it's a 6-gallon tank there. And I don't necessarily need this at this moment. So when it gets around to the time that I'm playing around under the tank and all that stuff, I'll end up installing this. For the time being though, what I have works perfectly fine, so we're gonna run that route. All right, speakers are tested, they sound great. Everything is back in working order. I'm very excited about this. Stay tuned. I think the next video, actually, I'm going to be going back into the fairing because it's been like a week, so it's weird that I haven't been in the fairing. I don't know. And no, I'm not going into the gas tank and stuff as well, so that's why I'm not running those wires I showed you. Going into the fairing to readjust the amp, which is something I didn't do when I put the new stereo in, and I'm putting in the correct RC cables, RCA cables, whatever, and we'll get back to that. We'll dive into that next time around. But yeah, aside from that, hope this was kind of informative, or at least a good exhibition on stuff that you shouldn't do when you're installing speakers and whatnot. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share this video with friends, share it with family, share it with that one dude you know is really good at installing stuff that wants to watch this video and go, what a dumbass. He loves this stuff, trust me. I'll see you all on the flip side.